Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for tuning in. The race to replace William Samuel Ruto in 2027 is gaining momentum, and the opposition is swelling and becoming larger by the day. You have seen reports that Fred Matiang'i is busy building his foundation, trying to contract international companies to ensure that by 2027 he will be in the race. Okia Mutata was embraced and supported by Gen Zs. He has already formed a committee to look into his political future. By 2027, he should be in the race. Kalonzo Musyoka is a formidable force. He has been embraced by Mount Kenya, and recently the Kamba was reinstated into the Gema. They are now forming the larger Gema group. Martha Karua recently said that they will form a formidable force. All the opposition leaders will sit together and they will ask Kenyans who should carry the mantle. Eugene Wamalwa is there. Of course, people like Jeremiah Kioni. The ODM still insists that they are in opposition, but I believe they have joined William Samuel Ruto. Now, leaders of the opposition feel scared because they want to outdo each other. They want to perform their duties in a manner that Kenyans will pick one of them. They want to remain outstanding among all the other opposition leaders. Now, one such person is Kalonzo Musyoka. When you look at all the leaders that I have mentioned, together with the others that I have not mentioned, and even many more who will come to the race as we approach 2027, because I believe many will add their names to that list, including others that will be sponsored by William Samuel Ruto himself, because I have a feeling that William Ruto must sponsor someone from Mount Kenya to divide the votes. You can take that to the bank. So Kalonzo Musyoka has got the most experience compared to all the leaders that I have mentioned. He's a former vice president. He's been a foreign affairs minister. He's been involved in very many peacekeepings. And he's got some of his advantages and demerits, because every leader, any human being must have some of his strengths and weaknesses. So someone must have told Kalonzo that he needs to up his game. And so he's been tweeting of late. There is this tweet that he made, and he called for maandamano. And that tweet did not stand well with those who responded. And I want us to go straight to this tweet. This is what Kalonzo said, that in 2024, as the country's position deteriorated, Kenya's valiant youth, headed by Gen Z, returned to the streets to seek justice for Kenyans. They were confronted with severe force. In reality, there have been orders of abductions and extrajudicial killings following the Gen Z revolution. We want to tell the Gen Z and the Gen Zote that we will continue to stand with them against this state-sponsored violence and impunity. We are still unearthing evidence of infractions, including those that contravene international law. The regime cannot understand that the just demands of Kenyans cannot be wished away. As the lives of Kenyans become intolerable and precarious, we will continue to demand justice. The next maandamanos will resolve Kenyans' problems once and for all. The next maandamanos will resolve Kenyans' problems once and for all. Kalonzo is a lawyer and is speaking reality, that when Gen Zs went to the street, they were demanding for change. They had rejected the Finance Bill 2024. William Ruto, of course, agreed with them. William Ruto even dissolved his cabinet. Members of Parliament walisalimiwa, they were greeted, and they were really afraid of the Gen Zs, even in churches that had been declared persona non gratas. But Kalonzo is saying that they're not going to sit back and watch. He's giving the government notice and is preparing Kenyans that they are going to organize for the mother of all demonstrations. This will be the mother of all demonstrations. And he is saying that this is going to solve Kenyan problems once and for all. Now, I want us to look at the response, because some of them were not really convinced that Kalonzo can do it. And I want us to go very fast. The first person who replied was saying, Gen Zs have omutata, wewe tafuta gema. According to this person, he feels that Kalonzo is addressing Gen Zs, yet Gen Zs have embraced Okia Mutata because they have declared through some of their proxy leaders also to say that Okia is their person. So this person is saying that Kalonzo should go to Gema because he has already been embraced by Gema. I think both the Gema, Kalonzo, Okia, Gen Zs are fighting for the same thing, and they have one common enemy, this government, a government that does not listen to its people. So we should not see any wrangle there. The other person is saying it's depressing seeing someone like Ferdinand Waititu at the front of this formation. Are these the kind of people to be relied on to bring change? Now, this person does not have a problem with Kalonzo Musyoka. Rather, the leaders that accompany Kalonzo, and is singling out Ferdinand Waititu. For those who know Ferdinand Waititu Babayao, you know the history around him, the court cases, the allegations of land grabbing, the allegations of how, together with his family, they looted Kiambu County. I don't know. And I know one is about to ask me that who is clean? Every leader is corrupt. But I'm just talking about Ferdinand Waititu and the perceptional politics around him. You see the way it has already, impacted on Kalonzo's image. Now, the other person is saying, you are craving so much to be Gen Z's leader, and is laughing there. I don't know why they feel that Kalonzo craves to be Gen Z's leader. Gen Z is part of this country. They have been demanding for change, and any person who is pro-change will always embrace Gen Zs. And I don't think there's anything wrong, but people feel that maybe Kalonzo is now craving for Gen Zs. I don't know whether it is too little, too late, but that's what I think. This group that consists of the likes of Waititu can never be an option. There is nothing to excite the voters from these monarchs. You can see Ferdinand Waititu and all that. Boyit is saying confused group. I don't know why he feels this group is confused. They have not demonstrated that they are confused. Someone is saying, Honorable, be more innovative. Talk, you will talk. But who is going to listen? Do you expect him to act? No. You see, the message that this person is trying to give is that our government, if you look at the subsequent government, they don't listen to just talks. That is why people believed in Raila. And that's why they are even lamenting that Raila aliwacha kwa mataa. Because the only language that the government will listen to is the language of demonstrations. That is why when Gen Zs decided to go to the streets, William Ruto decided to give in. He said, I'm not going to sign the Finance Bill 2024. And you all know that governments will not listen to you as you hold press conferences. You need to show them that you're tired. All revolutions in Sri Lanka, if you look at them, people must go to the street. So this person is advising Kalonzo that it's not as easy as you just, hold those press conferences. Kibet, and I know these are some of Ruto's guys, they're saying, hii ni upuzi, bora watoto wako wakue mistari ya mbele. According to him, he's saying that for people to go for the demonstrations, haweke watoto wake mbele. This is a narrative that has always been driven by those who are supporting the government. I remember Raila was being told, can you let your children be at the front line? And Rosemary, yes, I think it's Rosemary, the one in the East African Legislative Assembly, was always at the front line. So Kalonzo will shock them. His children will be at the front line. Someone is saying KM Viva, yeah, Kalonzo Musyoka Viva. For at least someone is telling him you're doing a good job. Someone is saying you are not the option. You cannot tell Kalonzo is not the option because you have one vote. If he's not yours, there are people who embrace him as an option, and I also believe that Kalonzo can be. Then the other person is saying, mtu anadhani uko serious only to end in deputizing someone else. You are a coward and a watermelon. Someone is looking at Kalonzo's experience for supporting, I think, Raila thrice. That was in 2013, 2017, and 2022. So this person is telling Kalonzo, even if we back you, we think that maybe the gamer will pin you down. And before you know it, you'll announce that supporting maybe Rigathi Gachagua or someone they have chosen. And I think someone is telling him, Murima iko na hope na wewe. Of course, we know that Murima iko na hope. And I just want to let it there. There were several reactions. But ladies and gentlemen, you realize that if you look at the people who responded, only maybe 2% feel that Kalonzo can make it for the demonstration that is calling for the change that is looking for. But from where you sit, do you believe or think that Kalonzo is the change that we need? Because if you ask me, as I've said, Kalonzo has got the most experience compared to all the other leaders there. And Kalonzo, in one of the strengths that Kalonzo has is that Kalonzo is acceptable among all the among the Kenyan ethnic groups. He has supported Raila thrice, and therefore the Luos and Raila supporters can easily vote for him. If there's someone who does not believe in Raila's political ideologies, they will go for Kalonzo as an option. Kalonzo is acceptable even in the church. Remember the last election, William Ruto was their man. The church declared him their candidate. This time round, Kalonzo is sellable to the church. Kalonzo has been a church man. The other strength is that Kalonzo controls Ukambani votes. You can't take away that from him. I don't know, it is 2.5 or something. Kalonzo has got something behind him. When you go for negotiations, you're always being asked, what do you have? Kalonzo has got substantial votes with him. Kalonzo's people are never wavering at all. I've never seen any of his members of parliament going to take a photo and status with William Ruto. He has decided he remains in opposition. And those are some of the strengths. But if you look at the complaints, there are people who feel that Kalonzo is not serious. He has not convinced the nation that he's serious. You know, many people make this mistake that Kalonzo must be abrasive, he must go to the streets like Raila did. Even though it is true that you have to go to the streets to compel the government to do what you want, but the question is, how many times has Raila gone to the streets and has that matured into victory? Raila is a fierce battle man. He has been going to the streets, but they still rigged him out. So for this confrontation, it is good because it can compel the government when the government is still sitting like Ruto. But can it really, result into victory? Not really. If demonstrations were to make anybody a president, Raila would have gotten that presidency. Some people also feel that Kalonzo is just being used by Gema because they are angry with William Samoei Ruto, and so they feel that maybe Gema watamtema dakika ya mwisho. As you can see, they're also telling him, wewe ni watermelon, before we know it, you will support someone. So there are people who want to follow him, but they feel that Kalonzo will disappoint them at the 11th hour. And so, I don't know. What do you think about Kalonzo Musyoka? Because if you ask me, Kalonzo is a better option. If you give me Kalonzo and William Samoei Ruto, I will vote for Kalonzo. I don't know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Do you believe with the sentiments that the respondents have given?